What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Noah Gray here, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Josh's channel and check out showmefootball.com for more.
What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fann of showmefootball.com, covering your Kansas City Chiefs. He's Michael D'Arcy of KC Sports Support, and there's another free agent that the Kansas City Chiefs could potentially sign. We'll talk about who that is right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into another video. Tonight, I am joined by my good friend, Michael D'Arcy of KC Sports Support, and we're going to talk about another free agent that the Chiefs could potentially sign late this offseason. Following the first preseason game, unfortunately, the injury bug did bite the Kansas City Chiefs in preseason week 1 when safety Deon Bush went down with a ruptured Achilles, which is going to knock him out for the rest of the season. And that could potentially be a career ender for a player like Deon Bush. So unfortunate to see. But Michael, this has now kind of posed the discussion of whether or not the Chiefs could go out and sign free agent safety Justin Simmons, who most recently played for the Atlanta Falcons last year. And even though Deon Bush, I think, was someone that was probably on the roster bubble, this was someone that played a couple games for the Chiefs last year and hung around the team, and he had that infamous interception against Lamar Jackson in the AFC Championship game a couple years ago. He was a valuable player to this organization, believe it or not. So with that injury, I think it does potentially open up the possibility to the Chiefs bringing someone in, maybe a guy like Justin Simmons, who I think would be a really good addition because this is someone who has played at an all-pro level before, isn't quite what he was, some years ago with the Denver Broncos, and his play has kind of tapered off a little bit. He's getting older. He's 32. But, just to add the veteran presence, to add someone who in an emergency could definitely play, just like Deon Bush was that kind of guy. And Justin Simmons is someone who has said before he would like to play for the Kansas City Chiefs. There was an interview he had, I believe it was either last year or the year before, and he said, as much as it pains him to say it, being a former Denver Bronco, he would definitely love to play for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think the timing may be just right here because I also think this team, Michael, lacks a true free safety. I think Chamari Connor, Brian Cook, even Jaden Hicks, those are all guys that are better suited in the box. Justin Simmons is someone that I think could help your back end coverage just a little bit, which is something that the Chiefs struggled with a lot last year, trying to put Brian Cook in that spot. I don't think that was the best situation for him, but I know I'm kind of all over the place here with my thoughts, but I want to definitely ask you, Michael, what are your thoughts on the potential of the Kansas City Chiefs signing free agent safety Justin Simmons?
I don't love it, and I think that's because I just don't think that Simmons is the player that he once was. Like in Denver, he was fantastic. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. He was an all-pro, wasn't he? He was one of the best.
It seemed like he had an interception on Mahomes just about every time they played against each other.
And this is someone that, like, in his prime, he was fantastic, and then he went to Atlanta and kind of wasn't the same player, and I kind of want to read these numbers. So last year in 2024, he had 2 interceptions, 7 passes defended. But if we just kind of get into some of the PFF grades, he had a 59.9 overall PFF grade and a 53.8 run defense grade. In coverage, he had a 60.8, and he had a 19.8%, so 20% missed tackle rate. And as a safety,
that's pretty bad, folks.
Pretty concerning. Pretty concerning. And you've got someone in that room like, Jaden Hicks, who he's going to be a strong safety, and maybe he plays up in the box and, takes away a tight end. But I don't know if the Chiefs feel comfortable with giving a veteran safety who was not very good last year a shot when they're pretty, comfortable in the guys that they have, for better or worse. They love Brian Cook. They love, Jaden Hicks. They think that those guys can end up being, contributors to a Super Bowl caliber defense. And also the guy that we have to talk about, Mike Edwards, is on this roster. Yep. And Mike Edwards is someone that was not good in Buffalo at all last year.
And he's also another strong safety again.
another strong safety, but he's someone that played here before and knows the defense and was successful here. And I think that's important when talking about bringing in veterans that maybe past their prime. Like the Chiefs are very much so like, we like our guys. And I just don't know if Justin Simmons is their guy.
No, I think, I agree with you for the most part. I mean, the Chiefs do not like really going outside the organization for things like this. I mean, if this was like if this was like Jaden Hicks was the one who was out for the season yesterday, I think you're going out and making a move for sure. But Deion Bush getting injured, like I said, he was on the roster bubble before, most likely. But that's kind of why I bring this up, though. I mean, yes, Justin Simmons is not the player he once was, but just to bring him in, see what he still has, see if Steve Spagnuolo can get the best out of him. And, again, the veteran presence, I think, would be valuable. Maybe he ends up being on the practice squad. Because, look, I don't think you're signing him at this point in the offseason. No one who's a free agent in August, it can really expect to be a lock for the roster. But, hey, it's an opportunity. You can play for a Super Bowl contender. Maybe you sign here, under the notion that you're going to be on the practice squad and maybe be like a break glass in case of emergency call up. Now the question is, why does Simmons remain unsigned to this point? Is it because he's just that bad? Is it because he's asking for too much money? Is it because he wants a starting role? Those are all things we have to consider that I don't think anyone has the answer to. But just point blank, as Deion Bush insurance, I guess, if you want to call it, and someone who, again, is a veteran presence, can play that free safety position if just everything goes wrong and you need to call him up, he's there. I think it would be a good signing.
It's definitely something that I would kick the tires on, even for a tryout. Like, why not? But I think that, again, you have to ask the question, why is a guy of his, I guess, caliber on the market still? It's August, and that is a major concern for me. Either he wants a starting role or a lot of money, and he's not getting either of those things if he wants to come to Kansas City. And the Chiefs are very much so like our way or the highway, and I'm not sure if, maybe he would take a pay cut and maybe he would take a reduced role if, he has a chance to play for the Chiefs. But I also think that the Chiefs probably would have given him a phone call if they were serious, because I'm not sure if that Deion Bush injury changes that much. Now, if it was a situation like where Jaden Hicks gets hurt, you might be on the phone. You might be trying to get somebody. And we'll still have to look at, rosters after cutdowns, because the Chiefs got Samaje Perine like that last year. So there's guys that are going to be available, but I'm not sure if that's really good for, Justin Simmons.
No, yeah. And look, he's on the older side. And to be fair, like the free agent safety market has always been extremely slow. And I think that's also something working against him right now. But look, this is something that if I were Brett Veach, I'd kick the tires on. Like you said, just bring him in for a tryout, see what he's got. I mean, I agree with you. I don't think the Deion Bush injury changes that much. But when someone like that, who has been, I mean, I don't know if I'd call him a key cog, but someone that has been called up in moments before and has needed to play and has done well, I think that is a big enough injury that you could maybe now consider signing someone like this. But I think it all depends on also what Justin Simmons wants as well.
Yeah, his needs are definitely going to be highly considered. And listen, Deion Bush, kind of to go back to him, like this is a guy that had an interception in the AFC Championship game against the Ravens and kind of ended that game in a weird way. Like that after that, because the Ravens were driving, if they put up a touchdown or even a field goal, that game's a lot more close. And so I think that was Lamar Jackson's third interception on the day or something crazy like that. But that, or maybe third turnover, but that was the big one. And Deion Bush was, a really solid player and someone that I think, doesn't get as much love and respect as, he should. But I don't know if Justin Simmons would be someone that would bring himself to the level of a Deion Bush. I think he might have too much of an ego. And listen, if you've got that kind of ego, we don't really need you. And guess what? If you're not signed in August and you still have that ego, maybe you should drop it.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree, but definitely want to hear from you guys in the comments. Are you interested in the Chiefs maybe potentially bringing in Justin Simmons on a contract now that Deion Bush is out for the year? Definitely let us know in the comments down below. With all that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. You can check out my work on showmefootball.com. Check out the Twitter, showmefb. And then before we sign off, Michael, where can the people find you?
You guys can find me on YouTube at KC Sports Report, and just help me get to 14K. We're trying to get there before the season starts.
There you guys have it. And that'll all be in the description. As always, that's all we got for this one. We'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, go Chiefs.